Clarke, in previous segments, we've talked about amendments, we've talked about case law. How in the world do you plan to organize a case around all these things?
Well, that's a good question. It's real important when you start looking at a defense to a driving while impaired case that you get it organized, because it can go many different directions and there are literally hundreds of different technicalities. So if you're watching this video, sit down and take notes during this. There are going to be four basic areas that we talk about defending the case. One is the stop, how you were stopped. Did blue lights go on? Was it a wreck case and the police came to the scene? Was it a checkpoint where you were detained on the side of the road with no reason whatsoever? But the stop is sort of category number one.
And we'll go into each of these specifically later on. We're just going to preview these. All right.
Category number two, the arrest. After you've been stopped briefly, the police are doing an investigation. Typically it's the finger to nose things, but they do a field sobriety test and then they make a decision to arrest you. Well, when you've been arrested, that raises a higher level of seizure and there's a Fourth Amendment issue, and so we're going to talk about the arrest as a very specific probable cause issue. The third area is the chemical testing, whether it be a breath test, a blood test, DREs, or what we call drug recognition experts, or a refusal. We're going to talk about what happens with the chemical testing procedures and were all of the statutory requirements followed correctly. And then the fourth area that we talk about is what I call the other category, which is the Fifth Amendment rights, the Sixth Amendment rights, post-trial motions to get the case dismissed, but sort of a general other category. But if we talk about those four areas, we can keep the case better organized.
Thanks, Clarke. And as promised, coming up in the next segment, we'll start going in depth on each of those issues, beginning with the stop.